Welcome back to the AWS Services Overview course, and in this set of slides we're going to talk about Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, also known as EC2. We're going to talk about automatic scaling and load balancing and monitoring and fun stuff like that. So just some introductory notes that Amazon EC2 Simple Web Service Interface allows you to obtain and configure capacity with minimal friction. It also provides you with complete control of your computing resources and lets you run on Amazon's proven computing environment. Amazon EC2 reduces the time required to obtain and boot new server instances to minutes, which allows you to quickly scale capacity both up and down, all to do with your computing requirements, because everyone has different requirements. Amazon EC2 changes the economics of computing by allowing you to pay only for the capacity that you actually use, which is the basics of cloud computing. And Amazon EC2 provides developers the tools to build failure-resistant applications and isolate them from component failure scenarios, which we will go into in a little bit more detail in some consequent slides. Okay, what are the features of Amazon EC2? Well, as I stated before, it's elastic web scale computing. So Amazon EC2 enables you to increase or decrease capacity within minutes, not hours or days, and you can commission hundreds or even thousands of servers instances simultaneously. And because this is all controlled with web service APIs, your application can automatically scale itself up and down depending on its needs. You also have complete control. So you have complete control of all your instances, including root access and the ability to interact with them as you would with any machine. You can stop any instance while retaining the data on the boot partition and then subsequently restart the same instance using web service APIs. Instances can be rebooted remotely using web service APIs, and you also have access to the console output if you so desire. It's also very flexible. So flexible cloud hosting services, you have the choice of multiple instance types, different operating systems and software packages. EC2 also allows you to select the configuration of memory, CPU, instance storage, and the boot partition size that is optimal for your choice of operating system and application. For example, choice of operating systems include numerous Linux distributions and Microsoft Windows servers. So depending on which you're more familiar with, whether it's Linux or Microsoft Windows, you can launch an EC2 instance with that flavor. It's also very integrated. So AWS EC2 is integrated with most AWS services, most of the other services such as Amazon S3, which we've talked about, Amazon Relational Database Service, and Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, which we're going to talk about in the next set of slides. And this provides a complete secure solution for computing, query processing, and cloud storage across a wide range of applications. Now it's really reliable because of all this, because Amazon EC2 offers highly reliable environment where replacement instances can be rapidly and predictably commissioned. The services run within Amazon's proven network infrastructure and data centers, and a good old Amazon EC2 service level agreement of 99.99% availability for each Amazon EC2 region. Security is a concern in the cloud. Don't worry, Amazon EC2 is very secure. Cloud security at AWS is the highest priority. As an AWS customer, you'll benefit from a data center and network architecture built to meet the requirements of most security sensitive organizations. Amazon EC2 works in conjunction with Amazon VPC to provide security and robust networking functionality for your compute resources. Inexpensive because EC2 passes on to you the financial benefits of Amazon's scale. So you pay for a very low rate for the compute capacity that you actually consume. And it's easy to start. There are several ways to get started. With Amazon EC2, you can use the management console, you can use the command line interface, or AWS software deployment packages. AWS is free to get started. If you are on the free, if you're just starting off, excuse me, you can have a what's called a free tier usage for 1 year. Okay, let's move on to some more features of EC2. It's virtual computing environments known as instances. So every time you fire up an EC2, it's known as an instance, an EC2 instance. Pre-configured templates for your instances known as Amazon Machine Images, also known as AMIs. The package of the bits you need for your server, including the operating system and additional software. Now, there's secure login, which information for your instances use key pairs, and AWS stores the public key and you store the private key in a secure place. There's also various configurations of CPU, memory, storage and networking capacity for your instances, and they are known as instant types. I'll show you them a little bit later, where I'm going to do a live demo and just go into the AWS console and have a look at some EC2 instances. There's all sorts of different storage volumes for temporary data that's deleted when you stop or terminate your instance. That is known as instant store volumes, which we talked a little bit about in the previous slides when we talked about EBS volumes, and we went into the differences between instant store volumes and EBS back volumes. Hopefully you remember that. There's persistent volume storage, like I just said, for your data using EBS storage, known as Amazon EBS volumes. There's multiple physical locations for your resources, which again we've gone through the instances and Amazon EBS volumes, known as regions and availability zones, that we touched on in the first set of slides. There's firewalls that enable you to specify the protocols, ports and source IP ranges that can reach your instances using security groups. Now that's all set up in your VPC, your virtual private cloud, which will be in the next set of slides. Okay. Static IPv4 addresses, known as elastic IPs. Metadata, known as tags, that you can create and assign to your Amazon EC2 instances or Amazon EC2 resources. Now, if you're just starting out, I suggest you put as many tags as you can. So you can put tags for anything you want, really. So if you boot up an EC2 instance, and you can tag it my first instance, you could tag it the size of the instance, you could tag what it's going to be used for, the project it's going to be used for, because when you build up some infrastructure, a lot of infrastructure in AWS, you tend to sometimes forget what you did it and booted it up for. So tags will get you out of trouble. So tag as much as you can is my suggestion. And you can create virtual networks that are logically isolated from the rest of AWS, and you can optionally connect your own network, known as virtual private clouds, VPCs. Alright, let's have a look at, we'll get into the console and do a bit of a live demo, I think, and show you what EC2 instances look like on the AWS console if you haven't already looked at that.